We welcome you back to the Music City Motorplex, the RC Cola Moon Pie ASA Southeast Asphalt Tour. The season finale, kind of a challenge event today, the Adam Petty Memorial All-American 400 weekend. 200 laps today. We are past halfway now. The competition caution is over. We start counting on lap 101. Green flag back in the air. It's Island in the 77, Chris Wimmer in the 52, and Jason Hogan upholding the honor of the Southeast Asphalt Tour regulars. He restarts third. What can he do with those two leaders?
But right now he has to be patient. He has to let those guys go out and race hard, let them burn their tires to the ground. That's what he's hoping anyhow, and then he'll be able to take advantage of that in the later part of the run. But right now he just has to hold his own.
Island and Wimmer, 1 and 2. Wimmer has gotten close to the 77, but he hasn't been able to do anything with him yet. And in this situation, you can bide your time a little bit. You can wait.
But Wimmer made that great charge. He drove all the way to the front, got to second, and kind of settled in. And I don't know if that's where his car stopped or if he said, this is good enough. I'm going to ride here, and I'll take advantage of this in the second half.
Top two starting to pull away just a bit. Now, if you're Jason Hogan, restarting third, you made some adjustments on that race car. You've got fresh tires. Do you want to let those guys take off, or do you want to stay with them? First, though, let's get an update on Chris Wimmer's situation. Downstairs to Mark Allen. He's with the crew chief for the 52.
What adjustments did you make on the car at the halfway break?
Well, we just gave him a little more split at the rear so the car would free up a little bit in the middle of the corner, and just a couple of minor air adjustments.
How confident are you that Chris can get to the front and once there, stay there?
Well, I think he's got a pretty good car. He proved that. He thinks that he could pass Elon, the 77, all the while he was racing him in the first 100, so we'll have to see if he can execute at the end.
Ron Wimmer, not only a crew chief, but his dad, and he's also a crew chief for his other son, Scott. And he talked about the split, the tire size in the rear end. That's how they're going to free the car up a little bit more split or stagger, that we call it. Tire size difference, that'll help the car.
And we'll see if it works out for Chris Wimmer, who runs second. Russell Fleetman, Kyle Combs from Wisconsin in that silver 9C. Nose to tail from position. There's Paul Kelly from Georgia in that black and orange 23 car. He's got his hands full as well as he tries to get by Nick Neville, who started on the pole here today.
A lot of these guys we're talking about, they're from different parts of the country. They're from the South, they're from the North, they're from the Midwest. Never raced against each other, but the common thing they have here, they're all on the same racetrack and doing an excellent job.
Watching this battle for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Russell Fleeman right there. The black 15 car, young Colt James. Now, he's been a hero in the South in some ASA-sanctioned competition as well. Won a lot of races this year. First time we've seen him with the RC Cola Moon Pie ASA Southeast Asphalt Tour. Right to the inside now, Nick Neville, Paul Kelly, and Colt James battling it out for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Using
every inch of the racetrack. They go all the way to the bottom. Guys all the way at the top. Racing down that front straightaway. You sail it off into the corners. Let the banking actually grab the race car. Kelly with a great run off the corner.
Chris Wimmer, meantime, in that black 52 car from Wisconsin, working on Jonathan Island from Minnesota in the 77. He has been the race leader for a long time. Third spot belongs to Jason Hogan out of Georgia, the Hogan number 92. And Hogan's about 6 car lengths back. He couldn't stay with the top two after the restart.
But that's what we saw in the first part of this race, the first 100 laps. Hogan just kind of slowly made his way to the front. With about 20 to go, he really went on a charge, and I think that's what you're going to see here. He needs to hold his own. One thing I see with Island's car, he was running that second groove. He keeps his momentum up, gets a great run off the corner. The shocks aren't pinned down hard. He's letting the car come up going down the straightaway. That means it's probably less abusive on those front tires.
And then we certainly have to give a call to Preston Peltier from Concord, North Carolina. He's raced his way up to 4th. There's Combs in the 9 out of Wisconsin. Russell Fleeman in the 98 from Georgia. Neville in the 1 car who started up front here today. He's from Mackinac, Illinois. So we've really got a great mix of drivers from all over the Midwest and the eastern part of the United States. It's a terrific battle here today at the Music City Motorplex. Good action everywhere.
This is really a long run for these guys. We've run about 25 or 30 laps without a caution, and they've really got to settle in and figure out how good's my car going to be, but they need to set a pace. Like a marathon runner, what can I do to have something at the end? Be careful that I don't use it up too early.
With 65 to go, your Enterprise Rent-A-Car running order, top of your screen. Keeping track of where your favorite driver is. Kyle Combs right there, shown in 11th spot with Russell Fleeman in 12th. They trail Nick Neville in the 1 car. If you're Neville, you got to be a little frustrated. You draw and you start on the pole. You can't really run with the outside pole sitter originally. You fade back. You're hanging in the top 10. What can you do to get back into the front? Battling for 7th here. McGrath in the 64. Colt James in that black 15. James has turned in a nice run today.
And he's working his way towards the front. But go back to the one car. Yes, he did draw on the pole. But this was kind of a neat situation. Halfway, you can make all those adjustments that you didn't like in the first half of the race. I think it's an advantage for a guy that's going backwards.
Do you adjust yourself out of the ballpark, though, in some cases? That'd be my concern if I was Neville.
Yeah, but look at the other way. If you're running up front and you don't make any changes, those guys all get better, then you're on the back side of that. I think it's an advantage. If your car's a little bit off, make that correction and go to the front.
Neville trying to hold off Kyle Collins as they fight for position. They are about a half lap behind the race leader, Island, who's got Chris Wimmer right with him. Jason Hogan continues to run third, and here's Collins now in that Chevrolet diving to the bottom. He's going to try to put Neville another spot further to the back. And Russell Fleeman right there. I thought Fleeman would be more of a contender here today.
Hasn't been able to work his way to the front. You're exactly right. I thought he would be able to go up like Hogan did, use his experience at this racetrack and get himself to the front. The 10 car kind of lurking back there. Maybe he still has something for the end of the race.
Kyle Collins, Nick Neville side by side with Russell Fleeman. All these drivers battling for position inside the top 12. The blue 180 in front of them. Nicholas Formosa, young star. His dad, Nicky, was a hero here at Nashville for a long, long time in a number 180 race car. Nicholas trying to learn the craft of late model stock car racing. Collins to the high side. Drives around Formosa. Ooh. A little bit of contact up there in the middle of the corner. Ryan Crane in the hunt now as well.
Fleeman wanted that groove, and he was going to get it no matter what. They went off in the corner. Oh, hang on, Crane, hang on.
Ryan Crane goes around. Big slide up through 3 and 4. Avoids the full spin. Maybe some contact. That'll bring out a caution with 56 laps left here at Nashville.
Not one of the things you're going to see out of that 10-car Ryan Crane. Him spinning out by himself. You've got to wonder if he didn't have a little bit of help when they went down into the corner.
Young driver from Panama City, Florida, won when we were here back in July. Has struggled a bit this weekend. Take another look. Dylan Oliver in the 33 applies the bumper.
Woo! Yeah, that's your most vulnerable. When you're going down into the corner, you're trying to get just a little bit of brake pedal, and when somebody taps you in the back, it's over.
Crane did a great job of driving, I think, to avoid the full 360. Meantime, Nick Neville's on pit road in that one car. They're going to try some adjustments, maybe, a new right rear tire, try to get him in a little bit faster mode for the rest of this race.
I think what they'll do is they'll jack this car up, and they'll put a little bit of wedge. They'll take some out of that right rear spring, put some wedge in that car, tighten the car up. Typically, that's this part of the race. The car gets very loose and hard to drive off the corner.
Island will be the restart leader in the 77. Wimmer lines up in second spot. Single file restart. Jason Hogan runs third. 50 to go at the Music City Motorplex for the RC Cola Moon Pie ASA Southeast Asphalt Tour season finale. 200 laps of the All-American 400 weekend. Single file down into turn 3. Wanted to see if Hogan could do anything with the 2 lead cars on this restart. So far, not so much.
Well, he's kind of just hanging with him. He's holding his own, him and Peltier. If he can just kind of do this for the next 20, 25 laps, get a last-minute run at these guys. What about this race? Lang on the outside, Fleeman on the bottom. He's holding his own as well.
This is for 11th spot. Jimmy Lang, who's won a lot of late model races in the Southeast this year. Trying to work his way by Russell Fleeman, one of the Georgia standouts who's run with us a few times this season in the RC Cola Moon Pie ASA Southeast Asphalt Tour. Paul Kelly right there as well in the 23 car, but Fleeman trying to hold Lang back as they come off the corner.
Right behind him, the 54 car, Chevy White. That's right, Chevy White, a new country heard from here in this race, but he's working his way to the front as well.
He's a regular here at Nashville at the Music City Motorplex up front meantime. Wimmer putting more pressure on Island. Less than 50 to go. They know they got to get going now. Wimmer gunning for the lead into turn 3.
Man, he had a great move. Turned that car to the bottom. Got a great run off corner. At the same time, the 77 bobbled. Here comes Hogan. He's going to make a race for second.
And Preston Peltier, those two drivers upholding the honor of the RC Cola Moon Pie ASA Southeast Asphalt Tour regulars. Hogan to second. Here comes Peltier.
Woo!
Oh, he rubs on the 77, goes around and cracks the wall. So Preston Peltier, who may have been holding on for the last few laps here to make a run, gets into the wall instead. That turn 2 onto the backstretch, that exit point there, that gets another guy.
Yeah, that's right where it flattens out. But look at the contact was early. He had a great run. He did not want to lift. Car just come up on him, got a little bit tight on the exit of the corner. Got into that 77. It was all over. But, man, he had a great run off the corner. He just couldn't quite make it happen.
Preston Peltier, who was so fast when we were here in July. an incident at the exit of turn 2. All right, the field will regroup. We'll be back for the restart. Chris Wimmer will bring him to green in just a moment.